Is that better? I have no way of knowing. Good morning. Good afternoon. It is snowing outside, but I feel like that's kind of giving me some nice lighting, actually. It's bright outside. I'm like, man, my anxiety this week. I just need to breathe and everything will be okay. Okay, this is going to be basically a normal video podcast knitting podcast. Okay, we need to start this again. I don't think any of that was useful. Hi, my name is Madison. I am the owner and dyer behind Fleur Ange Apparel Yarns. I knit a lot and I've been spinning a lot and I'd like to tell you about it. I've been drinking a lot of coffee and been having a lot of anxiety because January sucks. I don't know about anybody else, but that's probably like the worst month out of the year for me. January, February, they both blow. It's snowing outside. My kids are with their grandparents, and so I'm trying to just like reset and find my happy place. So let's talk about my knitting and my spinning. I have two finished projects, one of which I am wearing. This is the stick season. Actually, do you know what? I'm too warm to wear this. Even though it's cold outside, I've been running around trying to get everything together and now I'm hot. So it might go back on once I cool down a bit. But until then, you get a plain black shirt. This is the Stick Season Jacket by Rebecca Clow, the Craybea. You may notice there are no sticks. I did the stickless version because I just wanted a plain, simple project. This is, wow, I can't fold either. This is the project. We went to Mexico a few weeks ago. My husband and I, it was our 10th anniversary this year, and we decided to do an anniversary trip, just the two of us. It's the first trip we've taken on our own since our honeymoon 10 years ago, basically. And this is the first trip we've taken without our kids. We have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and it was so nice. It was so relaxing. But I did want to obviously bring my knitting, but I didn't want to bring anything that I was too precious about, just in case, like luggage got lost or whatever. I don't know. So I decided I had a few balls of this. This is I think it's Karen macchiato cakes, just from my local Michael's. I had 2 balls of it. More on that later. And so I cast on the Stick Season Jacket, the stickless version, but it still has like this nice ribbing detail along the shoulder and the arms, and I really like it. And it goes down the body as well. I did the longer version, so you can kind of see maybe that I did some increases along the side to account for my hips. And other than that, I followed the pattern exactly. Even the sleeves, I'm pretty sure I followed exactly. Like the length was good. I think I added a little bit of extra ribbing because I do not like it when my sleeves are too short. I like long sleeves. So, I like long sleeves because you can always fold them up and have them not long, but short sleeves you can't make longer. So anyway, that's my theory behind making long sleeves. This yarn is not the best. It pills a lot. It's not, so I think it says it's machine washable. It's machine washable. It is not machine dryable. Do not put this in the dryer. I made a sweater with a different one, like the green gradient color, and I threw it in the dryer just to like make it half dry so that it would dry faster. And it was awful. I think it must be all of the wool got pulled out and just pilled all over. So you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see actually, that it's pilling under the arm already. But I have been wearing this a ton. So, I mean, that does make sense. And it is a single ply yarn, which tends to pill more. Excuse me. So pattern, wonderful. Yarn, meh. It's a great house cardigan, and I have been needing to make more cardigans because I wear them. I tend to wear them just so much more than a pullover because I don't know if it's still like my hormones fluctuating. Like I'm over a year postpartum, but I get hot flashes and cold flashes. So it's really nice to have a cardigan that I can throw on and throw off and whatever. I was playing a little bit of yarn chicken, I thought, because I had 2 balls of this and I think they're 150 grams or maybe 200 grams. They must be 200 grams. Anyway, I don't know. They're big balls. I thought I only had 2 of them. So I did the body as long as I wanted. And then I ended up skimping a little bit on the button band because I didn't think I had enough. And then I didn't have enough to do, I made 1 pocket for my gauge swatch, but then I didn't have enough yarn to do a second pocket. But I found a 3rd ball in my stash. Apparently I had 3 of these. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the button band off. I might lengthen it a tad because it hits me like at hip waist, but if this was long enough to like cover my butt, I would love it even more. So I think this is not going to stay a finished project because I am just going to make it a little bit more wearable for how I want to wear it around the house. But I've been wearing it a ton and now I'm cold. So I'm gonna put it back on. See what I mean? I don't know what's going on with me. I'm hot and I'm cold. And not in a fun Katy Perry way. Okay. I really like the sleeves because it's mostly acrylic. It doesn't really have like any of the bounce back, but I like the sleeve length. Like I can pull it over and I can pull it back. If I want to roll it up, like it doesn't stay if I want to roll it up. Like if I want to just shove it up my arms, they don't really stay because they're loose, but I can roll it up, which is nice. I am likely going to make this pattern again. My dad would like a cardigan. So, I think I will make this cardigan for him because it's at like a nice gauge. I think it's 16 stitches. So it's not super, like he wants a warm cardigan. 16 stitch gauge, like that's a nice fabric and it's quick to knit up. So I need to find yarn. He wants a gray sweater. I feel like I should do it in a superwash, something that Mom can't easily destroy because she has been known to destroy a few things in her laundry career. Anyway, tangent. I'm sorry. Today is just going to be, you get what you get, unfortunately. My second finished project is it's a sweater by Vert and Rose. I don't remember the name. Okay. Yarn, I like a lot. It sheds a lot. This is Wonder Fluff by Knit Picks, and it is a blown yarn, I'm fairly certain. So it has like a nylon tubing and there's alpaca and merino and cotton maybe blown in. I don't really remember the yarn makeup. It sheds a lot. I wore this with black trousers and I just had little white fluffs all over them. So maybe don't wear it with like black dressy pants. But other than that, I love it. I love how the fade turned out. It makes me so happy. I did it just on the sleeves. The pattern is nice. It does not hold your hand at all. It wasn't the most intuitive to follow. So what I will say is it gets you to set up all of the markers, but then for like, it has short rows and everything. So it fits really well. I really like the fit of it. But it has you set up stitch markers for the short rows and for the raglan increases and everything. But then instead of saying, you know, what I'm used to, like I've knit a lot of Claire Jackson's patterns. I've knit a lot of raglans and even Rebecca Clow, like the Tolsta Tea and stuff. What it does is you set up the stitch markers. I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. You set up the stitch markers, and then what I'm used to is a pattern will be like, okay, so knit to the next stitch marker and then knit like 4 past the final stitch marker, make your short row and turn around and go back. And this pattern didn't do that. It said, like, you know, you set up all of your stitch markers, and then to do the short rows, it was like, okay, so now the numbers are going to be made up because I don't remember anything. It'll be like knit 63 stitches and turn, you know, make your German short row double stitch, whatever. Which I didn't love because like I don't want to count all of these stitches. I don't want to have to count to 63. I just want to know that I have to work, you know, 4 past whatever stitch marker. So it was a lot to keep track of that way. But then once you're done all the short rows and you're just doing the increases, it increases at a steady rate throughout the whole thing. So once you're through the short rows, it doesn't really matter. But I did find that to be just a little annoying. Like you have stitch markers, reference the stitch markers instead of just referencing huge amounts of stitches. But other than that, it was great. I modified it just a little bit. So it is in the pattern, it's a fairly wide balloon sleeve. So you knit a certain way, like you knit a certain amount of inches, and then you do an increase round and you do the lace, and then you bind off. Excuse me. So instead of doing the increase round the way that it's stated in the pattern, I just increased enough to be able to fit the lace repeat. So the stitch count didn't fit into the lace repeat. So I think I had to add like 4 to 6 stitches or something like that to just work the lace. So then I worked the lace chart as normal. I don't think I added any lace. But then instead of just binding off and having a really wide balloon sleeve, I did a decrease round. So I'm pretty sure I knit 2 together all the way around. And then I did 1 by 1 rib for like an inch-ish. And honestly, I probably could have decreased even more. Like it doesn't cinch tight to my wrist. Let me just show you. I'm not going to put it on because I don't want to, but I'll show you. Like it's not tight to my wrist. Like it's still loose, but I just did a tighter bind off so that like I could, you know, shove it up my arm. Because I like a big sleeve, but I don't want it to like fall to here, you know, like that's just not practical for my life. I need to be able to pull my sleeves up, especially if it's not a cardigan that I can just pull off. I did overheat when I first wore this, but I was in a social situation, which makes me nervous. And when I get nervous, I overheat. So it is what it is. But I got a lot of compliments on it. So you win some, you lose some. I was very hot, but I was very cute. So it is what it is. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I would make this pattern again, just because it's a very basic raglan with a very fancy sleeve, and I don't really have a lot of use for like multiples of those. but I really am happy that I have this one and I like it a lot. And I just kind of have to figure out what kind of pants I can wear it with. But like jeans don't really show anything. And I feel like it would dress up a pair of jeans nicely with like a cute pair of boots. So that is my second finished project. Let's keep going with finished things. I don't have any more finished knitting, but I do have some finished spinning projects. So, my friend, Catherine, who is the dyer behind Creation Miss Couture, she had a Care Bear collection with like pastel neon colors. It was so beautiful. I wanted all of it. But I held myself back and I got I got the hiccups now. I might have to refilm this whole thing, but who knows? Okay, Catherine did a Care Bear collection. It was like pastel neutrals and it was so beautiful and I wanted everything. But instead I got 2 braids of fiber. I forget what they're called. I think it was Dare to Care and something else. It's not available anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But it was so beautiful. And when I received it in the mail, I put it in my fiber stash, which had a braid of my Black Parade fiber. And I realized just how well they went together because it used similar colors. My Black Parade was a little bit brighter, but because I did it on a non-superwash base, non-superwash merino doesn't take dye as brightly as a superwash merino. So it ended up just being perfect. And I don't know if the colors are really coming across on the screen. So this is a 3-ply. So I had 2 of her braids and 1 of my braids. And so I just spun them up on their own bobbin and then I plied them together. And this is, I didn't do a very good job of spinning. Like, I'm a new-ish spinner. I've only been spinning for about a year. Like, I don't remember when I got my spinning wheel, but it's either been about a year or a little bit less than a year. And so I don't spin super even. No, each braid, it spins how it spins and I ply it together and I had leftovers is what I'm trying to say. So I think I have about, so I had 300 grams. 300 minus 50 is 250, minus 20. 250 minus 20 is 230. So I have 230 grams of a 3-ply. I have 50 grams of a 2-ply, and then I have 20 grams of a 3-ply chain plied, which I didn't bring. It's downstairs. Because I ran out of one, so then I did a 2-ply, and then I ran out of another one, and so I did just a chain ply on the last bobbin. So this is one of her braids and one of my braids put together. And this is 50 grams. I don't know what I could do with this, but it would make like an amazing contrast color for a project. And this, I think I might make a jaunty shawl. I keep seeing them everywhere and I really do love just how squishy Half Fisherman's Rib is. But I haven't totally decided. Because I'll see a project and I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I see that like everybody's making it and I'm like, well, I'm the kind of person that it's like when someone tells me I have to watch a show or I have to read a book or I have to do something, I'm like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Like I was going to do it until you told me I had to, and now I'm not going to. So sometimes when I see a project being made so much, it makes me not want to make it, if that makes sense. But I do think this would make a really cute shawl, scarf, accessory thing because I have a black winter coat and a gray winter coat and like a camel colored winter coat. So they're all very neutral and I just think it would make a really bright, cozy scarf because it's 100% merino. It's so soft. And I love how the black showed up in this one. The black didn't really show up very much. There's like there's some spots of black, but the black really shows up in this one. And that's pretty fun. I like that a lot. Okay, that's enough of that. That is one of my spinning projects. And then my other spinning project is partly an acquisition, because if you remember last time, I had some fiber bumps from Annapolis-Fibre-Co, which is it's like business partners out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. I don't know if they're in Halifax. I'm pretty sure they're in Nova Scotia. I had 2 bumps from the original drop. And then I bought a whole bunch more because I just loved spinning the woolen prep long draw. I've never spun long draw before, but I was hooked because that fiber was just so beautiful. So I had 1 bump of this fiber already, and then I decided I needed to do a second one so that I could ply it together. And it's really interesting how, so this is, it's just so plump that I couldn't fit 100 grams on, or I guess it's 200 grams on a single bobbin, which normally I can. Like if I have 2 100-gram bobbins, I can ply it onto a 3rd bobbin and be fine, but I needed to use 2 bobbins. And it's really interesting how different the 2 bobbins turned out, even though it was the same fiber. So I feel like I'm gonna use, like there's just a lot more dark in this one. Oh, I just love it so much. It's so pretty. Ugh. Sorry, I'm fine. And like, this is just the string that I used to tie it, but there's just like pops of blue and pink and purple and gray and black. I just love it so much. I feel like blue is not really something that I have explored very much. It's like, it's not one of my favorite colors, but I'm starting to get into it a bit more. Like green and purple are the things that I love a lot. But blue, I'm really liking the blue. So that's my next spin that I finished this week. It's, all of them are washed and thwacked and everything. So it's just so squishy. If you have not tried long draw, I've heard that you can do long draw with like a normal fiber braid, but this is specifically woolen prep. So all of the fibers are kind of just mishmashed, whatever, however you want to call it. I don't think coffee is going to help with how fast I'm talking, but that's fine. So when I got an extra braid of this, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. I think they're called bumps. And I will show you what they are and my plans for them. So this is 3 of the same color. What I love about this, so I was a little bit worried because I don't love it when fiber matches up completely. Like I want to have variation in the final yarn. I don't like it to be like completely stripy. You know, like if you have 2 plies that go from pink to purple to blue, if you spin them exactly that way, when you spin them together, the pink, or when you ply them together, the pink is with the pink and the purple is with the purple and the blue is with the blue. And I kind of want it to be offset a little bit so you have distinction between the plies. So I'm so thrilled that these are the same colors, but they all start in a different section of the color, which means I can spin them up and I'm gonna get that variation that I was looking for. Because normally with a fiber braid, I don't have any with me, but with a fiber braid, you split it apart and then you split part of it more and you can kind of work with it that way. But with the fiber bumps, like you're just spinning from the bump. I'm not going to unwind all of this to split it down further. Like that just doesn't, maybe you can, but that doesn't work in my brain. So I'm just really excited with how it came because I can spin all 3 of these. I'm going to have a 3-ply. This is going to be my first 3-ply long draw woolen spun. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but 300 grams, especially because this is definitely going to plump up after I spin it. I knit a vest, the Ever After vest by Perfectly Knotted. I did the dress version, and then I did my hand spun version. I still have a bit of it here with this. And I love it so much. And a 3-ply is perfect because it's like an 18 stitch gauge. So I might make another hand spun version of that vest. So excited. Okay, give me a second. I gotta reach. Oh, I didn't do this very well. Okay. My next plan is these two. Now these are different colors. I think they're both from the Astrophile collection, part of it. So they have very similar colors, but they're just a little bit different. Like this one, I don't know if you can see, but this one, it kind of goes stripy. Like it goes from purple to blue to black to purple to blue. And this one is just like that purple and blue heathered all the way through from what I can see. So I think those two plied together are going to look really nice. And I think those two plied together with this will make a really cool project, which means I'll have 400 grams. I go based on grams because I don't actually have like a yardage counter. I could calculate it, but I'm lazy. So that's why I like top-down projects, because you just, especially vests, because you just knit down until you run out of yarn. Like you obviously have to do the collar and the arm holes, but then after you're done that, you just keep knitting until you're done. Anyway, rambly. So that's another one. And then I got this one, which is, it was part of the tree one. Is it something crown shyness? Is that what it's called? It's that thing where when you look up, the trees, like they don't intertwine, right? It's, anyway, whatever. It's green. It's beautiful. Like it's, I wish you could, maybe that's a little bit better. I guess I could open it up and show you. Look how beautiful it is. Oh my goodness. It is so beautiful. It is so stinking beautiful. This might have to be my next spin because it's just so gorgeous. And I have a few people in my life that are knitters, but are not spinners. And so I feel like the gift of hand spun yarn, like sometimes I think that I enjoy spinning yarn more than I enjoy knitting with the hand spun, but that might just be because I'm so precious about it that it's like I have to wait for the perfect project. Maybe, I don't know. But like I spin faster than I can knit. So I feel like gifting hand spun yarn to someone would be just a nice gesture and just a nice gift, especially because, you know, like when they're crafters, they understand how much work goes into something, even if they're not a spinner, if they're like a knitter or a crocheter or whatever, or a weaver, they understand the work that goes into it and they would appreciate it and they would cherish it and they would use it well. Anyway, tangent. Okay, so that's my acquisitions. Let's look at my works in progress. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 to show you. I have more than that in progress. However, I'm not actively working on everything because I've been a little bit overwhelmed with all of my works in progress. So I have one test that I'm going to finish, and then as much as I love testing specifically for Claire, I think I'm not going to test as much this year. I tested a lot of patterns last year, And I think that I just need, sometimes the deadlines make it easier for me, and sometimes the deadlines make it less fun. So this past year, the deadlines were great. Like in 2025, the deadlines were great, and I was hitting them, and I was happy, and I was motivated, and I was inspired. And for some reason, maybe it's just because it's January, I'm just feeling a little bit more overwhelmed and uninspired by stuff that I have to work on, you know? So I'm gonna finish this test. I'll just show it to you. That seems like a good thing to do. Oh, don't lose stitches. Okay, this is the Polar Latitudes by Claire Jackson. Let me see. Oh, it is very, very beautiful. Like, look at that texture. So you could probably see where it's blocked and where it's not. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I am using Knit Picks. It's this one. Just a different color. High Desert Worsted. Yeah. In this green color. I have 3 sweater quantities of this yarn because I love it so much, and there was a sale, so I bought some more. Anyway, I think that's the other thing. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with my yarn stash because I have so much yarn that I love, but because I also dye yarn and I'm making samples and stuff, sometimes, like often, that samples takes priority over like my own hobby knitting. And so I'm not getting through my stash as quickly as I would like to, and like using these yarns as much. I'm looking up here because I'm looking at my yarns. And so I would like to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I want to focus more on the things that make me happy in the moment, instead of feeling like everything I'm knitting on is like for a reason and for pressure and for a timeline. You know what I mean? Anyway, Polar Latitudes. It's a beautiful pattern. It is so well written, like all of Claire's patterns, and it's going to be so beautiful. But it is an all over cabled knit, so it's a little bit more time consuming than just a stockinette project. So it's taking me a little bit longer than I would like. I mean, I have lots of time, because that's one of the amazing things about Claire's patterns, is she gives, you know, adequate time for testers to get stuff done. So I don't even think this is due until March, but I don't want to put it down and not work on it, because that's when that happens, sometimes I don't go back to things, and I refuse to not finish a test. So that's my project for her. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to finish this ball, and then I'm going to pick up a sleeve and do a sleeve and figure out how much yarn the sleeves take. And then, because I don't think I'm playing yarn chicken, but I'll have to. One of my goals for this year is to not crop any more sweaters. I have so many sweaters that hit me just not quite long enough. Like if they were 2 inches longer, one of them I have, it was like, well, I was playing yarn chicken with it. So it's like, if it was 3 inches longer, that would have been better. Sorry, I got the hiccups again. But it is what it is. So I'm trying really hard not to crop any sweaters. But because I like my sleeves to be long, it's hard to know, should I just crop it so I can have sleeves the right length, or should I have it the right body length and have sleeves a little bit shorter? Like, it's kind of a toss-up, because I kind of want both, which means I just need to buy yarn in quantities that allow me to do that, instead of, you know, kind of skimping and buying one less skein. Like, just buy one more skein so that you're not playing yarn chicken. But sometimes an extra, like, that's also expensive. Like, I don't want to just have random extra skeins of yarn laying around that I'm not doing anything with. Anyway, whatever. So that is a test that I'm doing. I am just knitting a hat for one of my kids. It'll fit one of them. It's just a 2x2 ribbed hat. It's just nice to have a project that I can bring anywhere and knit on. This is also a Knit Picks yarn that I'm just trying to get out of stash. I think it's City Tweed DK. So it's like wool, alpaca, and it's got some tweedy bits in it. And there's something just very calming about just knitting some 2x2 rib. It's more exciting than stockinette, but not so involved that I have to think about it. So it'll just be a project that I work on here and there. You know, waiting rooms, appointments, driving. Not when I'm driving, obviously, when I'm a passenger in a car that's driving. Something to just not think about. Okay. Next, I'm not following a pattern for that. I have knit a few 2x2 rib hats, and I mean, I basically just, I know the stitch count that I need for, you know, my kid's head, and I just knit, and then I do decreases. I've done 1, 2, 3 of these now, and I really like the way that my decreases look. I might make a free pattern. That's another thing that I want to do this year, is I just want to put some free patterns out there, because like I still want them to obviously be good patterns, but it's a lot more low pressure to just put out a free pattern of something that I've made and just offer it for free and not have, like, I don't know, I feel like I have a lot more like stress and stuff about putting out like a really detailed good pattern if someone's going to pay money for it. And I'm obviously like, I still want it to be good and detailed if it's free, but there's no money exchanged. So if there's a mistake in it, or if it's not, like, you know, at least someone isn't paying money. I don't know if that makes any sense. Oh, this is a sock pattern, because this sock pattern, this has been in my brain for so long. This is a provisional cast on, and it's a technique that I want to try. And if it works, I'll make a pattern. And if it doesn't, I'll just wear them. And even if it does, I might not make a pattern. I don't know. But it's just something that I've had in my brain for long enough that I just need to get it out of my brain and into a pair of socks. And I'm using one of my core collection colors, the blue one, Patience. Is that the summer one? That's the problem with having so many colors. I don't remember the names. And then the orange is also one of my core colors. And that's going to be like the heels and the toes, because I love just doing a little pop of color. So that's like barely anything. I took this with me to Mexico thinking I might work on it. I don't even think I did a single row. I just wasn't feeling motivated. I haven't been really feeling motivated to do socks lately, and I'm not sure why, because I've been really enjoying wearing my hand knit socks, and I need more of them. The other project that I did work on in Mexico is my pressed flowers kerchief. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it so much. Oh, look at that. So this is using yarn from my Black Parade collection. I'm sorry, it is so crumpled up because it was in this project bag. The black is called Numb, and then the color changing one is my hand spun from the fiber. And I basically, this is a free pressed flowers pattern. I wasn't sure exactly, like I wanted to do something with the pressed flowers, but I really like one that starts at one end and then you can just knit until it's, you know, half of the size that you want and then start decreasing. The other pressed flowers shawl is one that like kind of, it starts in the middle and then how do you make a triangle? It's a triangle shawl. I don't know what I'm trying to do with my hands. It's a triangle shawl, which means you start in the middle and it like works out. But I feel like sometimes if it's not enough yarn, I don't know. I didn't want to do that one. So I am just doing the free pattern and I'm going to just keep increasing until it's about half of what I want. Like I want it to be able to go around my neck and like be like a cute little kerchief thing. Honestly, I might be getting close. Maybe like, yeah, like maybe 5 more. And then I can start decreasing. Yeah, and I like how there's just the one flower going down, so it's not like super complicated. But look at the color shifting on the back. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I love it so much. I should pull this out again. I haven't worked on it since we got home from Mexico. And I really should, because I do like it. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, just finish one flower, you know, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it's maybe 10 to 12 rows. So like it doesn't feel like that much of a commitment, but like it feels like you've accomplished something because you finished a flower. That is like, stockinette is nice for just mindless knitting, but it is hard to like gauge how much you've knit. So that's why I like patterns that have at least something going on so that you're like, okay, well, I finished an entire repeat, or I finished something, and you can see exactly what it is that you've accomplished. Yeah, so those are all the projects that I've worked on and am working on. I already went through acquisitions. It's just the fiber, well, and some of that Knit Picks yarn, but other than that, I basically have already spent my entire budget of yarn buying for, you know, the next 3 to 6 months at least. And this year, I'm not really big on setting New Year's resolutions, but I am, like last year, I set some intentions of things that I wanted to accomplish during the year. And I did pretty good. I think I hit almost all of them. The only big one that I didn't was buy a new couch for the living room, but we are currently potty training my oldest, and I still have a youngest that will need to be potty trained. So I'm like, let's just keep the old couch until all of the peeing is under control. Potty training is the worst. But yeah, other than that, I'm just trying to survive the next 2 months. Catherine and I are teaming up again this year. We have a 2026 monthly club, all based on Emperor's New Groove, which is so fun. And January, by the time this goes up, the January listing will already be closed, but February is probably my top color out of the whole year. I am so in love with how February's color turned out. So me and Catherine each are coming out with a color each month. So there's 2 colors available, a tonal and a variegated. So this month I did the tonal color and she did the variegated, and then in February it switches and I'm doing the variegated and she's doing a tonal. And it's just super fun, and it's my first time doing a monthly club, so we'll see kind of how it goes and if I'm gonna do it again next year. But I mean, it's January, so we'll just see how it goes. There's a lot of stuff coming up this year. I'm doing a trunk show at my local yarn store at the end of the month, which is very exciting. So if you live anywhere close to Sarnia, Ontario, first of all, I'm sorry that you have to live close to here. And second of all, come check out my yarn at Heaven is Handmade. She stocks some of my bases all of the time, mostly my sock bases, but the trunk show will be like all of my bases. So you can come check it out. I might be doing my first craft fair this year. I need to work up the balls to actually submit my application. So there's like a lot of exciting things coming, but I just have to survive January and February. But we can do it. We can do it. We can be happy. We can craft. We can knit. And we can stay calm. And we can stay happy. And everything will be okay. That's just what I chant to myself all the time now. We will survive. Everything will be okay. I hope. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying happy and safe and healthy and joyful. I hope there's at least something in your life that's bringing you joy. Okay, not to leave it on a downer, but it is what it is. I'm going to go take my Polar Latitudes test knit. And I'm going to go work on that for a little bit and hope that the snow stops before I have to go do groceries. Okay, love you. Bye.